Thank you for being with us this evening to honor our nation's finest. Your presence alone makes this a special evening. It's been great to see how many old friends have reacquainted with each other tonight. It's an amazing event. Thanks all for your dedication, service, and being here tonight at the Washington Hilton. First, I want to tell you a little bit about why we did this. As nation's finest president and CEO, it's an honor for me to celebrate our half-century milestone with you today. 50 years, it's a long time. This anniversary embodies our steadfast dedication to aiding America's military veterans and their families with holistic housing, health, and employment support, guiding them towards self-sufficiency and their utmost potential. In 1972, 4 Vietnam veterans, unsupported by their homeland, founded Nation's Finest. It was originally called Flower of the Dragon. With a $9,000 grant, they established it in Santa Rosa, California, and it was symbolized resilience and hope for veterans in need. Their conviction was clear: no comrade should be left behind. 5 decades on, we pay homage to their vision. Their sacred duty lives on in the commitment to our veterans. As we celebrate this significant anniversary, we honor 50 leaders who have taken this mission to heart, serving our veterans in extraordinary ways. From nonprofit pioneers to educators and activists, the individuals you're going to meet tonight stand as pillars of support for our veterans. We are proud to celebrate tonight. We collectively honor these 50 remarkable individuals right here in Washington, D.C. Each will receive a trophy, which is just an emblem of their immeasurable contributions. Whether with us in person or spirit, your presence here underscores the vitality of our mission, amplifying our united voice in advocating for our veterans. Thank you very much for being part of this noble journey. Today, as we stand united, I want to make sure I extend our deepest gratitude to the National Coalition for Homeless Veterans. Their tireless dedication to veterans mirrors our mission and significantly amplifies our impact. I must acknowledge Catherine Monet, their CEO, whose leadership shines as a beacon of hope for many. Catherine, your drive to ensure no veteran is left behind without shelter is inspiring and humbling. Thank you very, very much. We also want to say thank you. Go ahead, applause is a good thing. This evening, we're here largely due to the generosity of sponsors like Enterprise. Their support for this landmark 50th anniversary event is more than monetary. It's a powerful statement of commitment to the men and women who have served our nation. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce an individual who's dedicated his life to service, Mr. Kobe Langley. Currently, a senior vice president at the American Red Cross, Kobe adeptly oversees international humanitarian services and services to the armed forces. Not a small job. He is a member of the board of directors for Nation's Finest and the esteemed chair of the Nation's Finest 50 Blue Ribbon panel. Throughout his remarkable career, Kobe has been a key advocate for veterans and military families. He was the director of Wounded Warrior, Veteran, and Military Family Engagement at the White House and senior advisor for these initiatives at CNCS. At the Department of Defense, he served as Acting Deputy Assistant Secretary for the Office of Wounded Warrior Care and Transition Policy. Kobe's military service was marked by milestones, including serving as Iraq's first in-theater Foreign Claims Commissioner and an operational law attorney for the 82nd Airborne Division. A 2-tour combat veteran and recipient of the Bronze Star, he continues to advocate for the laws of armed conflict. Known for his tireless veteran advocacy, expertise in federal litigation, and steadfast dedication, Kobe's contributions to Nation's Finest and our nation's veterans are invaluable. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Kobe Langley.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you for our esteemed guests and veterans and friends. You know, I've never been the chair of anything before. So when Chris asked me, I assumed it was the gray in my beard. Fooled him, made him think that maybe I'm a little bit more experienced than I am. But It's easy to feign experience and expertise when you've got an amazing group of people next to you. So I want to say thank you to our panel, Mary Bay Battier, Jerry Byrne, Dick Cook, Eric Eversole, Matthew Friedman, Sharon Gerber, General Spider Marks, and of course, Kathy Roth-Duquet and Marcus Willey. These are individuals that are stalwarts in their respective fields and highly respected in the veteran military family space. I couldn't have done this job of chair without their amazing experience and guidance. So I'm honored to welcome you to this significant occasion. Tonight we gather to honor a half-century of nation's finest work and to celebrate the individuals who have, like us, dedicated themselves to our veteran community. Sometimes fate plays a really interesting role in your career and in our journeys. And my own in this organization began when CJ, the CEO, sought somebody with a deep understanding of the space, policies, and politics concerning homeless veterans in DC. You may have known me in my previous lives working for Secretary Shinseki, but you may not have known that I worked in assisting in launching the national initiative to eliminate veteran homelessness in 2008. But I remember those conversations very, very clearly and some heated debates on the 9th floor of the Department of Veterans Affairs with the Secretary. People said, you can't do this. You can't eliminate veteran homelessness. It's not possible. Why should we tell people that we can do this thing? There's always going to be a homeless veteran somewhere in America. And as those heated debates were going back and forth on the 9th floor between the Secretary at that time, Secretary Shinseki and his staff, Secretary Shinseki stopped and he said, listen, what is the right number if it's not 0? And from that day on, that was the mission: eliminate veteran homelessness in America. 0 became the goal. So although great progress has been made over the years, we still have homeless veterans on the street. And I'm not one to give up on my commitment, even though it was 2008 in a different lifetime, a different organization. So I was seeking to continue to contribute in this space when CJ asked me if I would serve on the board of Nation's Finest. And I looked at their mission. I said, 50 years, you all have been fighting this fight to reintegrate our veterans to ensure they don't fall into homelessness. Amen. So 2 years ago, he called me and he said, if you will serve on our board, I would appreciate it, but it's been more of a service for me than it has certainly for the organization. The breadth of the interventions of Nation's Finest is astounding. They cover the entire spectrum of services from robust housing programs to rapid rehousing, financial assistance for veterans in distress, comprehensive job training and job placement for continuous caseworker support, and even home ownership opportunities for homeless veterans transitioning. The support that they offer, they allow veterans to reach out wherever their hope is needed. It's quite rare. So I'm proud to be a part of this organization to help support the lives of nearly 1.5 million veterans annually. So tonight we start by presenting awards for the Nation's Finest 50th in supporting our military families. I want to say thank you for the opportunity to serve in this space, and more importantly, thank you for Chris for the opportunity to serve and continue to serve in this space. So we celebrate the collective efforts of our partners, the award recipients and colleagues who have immensely contributed to our mission as we honor the Nation's Finest 50. Let's celebrate the shared commitment to guiding our veterans at home, the unity of purpose, and the notable achievements of our awardees. Thank you all here today for your own service and dedication and for joining us this evening. So as chair of the Nation's Finest 50th Blue Ribbon Panel, it's an honor to launch the recognition of these individuals for their selfless service. So as we begin, we would like to see and review a special message from the man who has made an indelible mark on our hearts, Lieutenant Commander Montel Williams, a Marine, a celebrated talk show host, and dedicated advocate for veterans' rights. Montel kicks us off tonight with these vital and important message of the issues that we all face today.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I stand before you today deeply humbled and filled with gratitude to accept the nation's finest 50 award. This recognition isn't just for me, but for every individual who has donned the uniform and served our nation with unwavering dedication and valor. My journey began in the United States Marine Corps, continued through the United States Naval Academy. It was an honor to be the first Black Marine selected to attend the Naval Academy Prep School to go on to be commissioned as a naval officer. The lessons I learned and the friendships I made during my 22 years of service have shaped the man that I am today. While many of you know me as the host of the Montel Wim Show, my true passion lies in advocacy for my fellow veterans, education, and health. Serving on the board of directors for the Fisher House Foundation, the Ann Romney Center for Neurological Disease at the Birmingham Women's Hospital, and the Research and Recognition Project allows me to channel this passion into meaningful action. It is a privilege to use my platform to talk about the challenges facing veterans and help them access crucial services such as mental health support. I'm also extremely proud to be part of a show called Military Makeover, where we strive to serve those who serve us. Our military personnel make a tremendous sacrifice to uphold the Constitution and protect our freedom. Our duty is to support them when they need us. Through the Military Makeover program, we together with a team of compassionate and talented professionals transform the homes and lives of military families across the country. In the 2 decades since I retired from the Navy, I've held on to an essential part of the uniform, the ethos. Standing up for those who currently serve and those who have served us remains the greatest honor of my professional career. I'm proud to be a part of a nation that values and supports its veterans, and receiving the nation's finest 50 award reaffirms this commitment. I want to express my deepest appreciation for this recognition, and I promise to continue advocating for our veterans, ensuring their voices are heard, their needs are met, and their sacrifices are never forgotten. Thank you so much.
It's a wonderful way to kick off the honorees by honoring Montel Williams, who's been a peerless advocate for the space for many, many years. So I'm honored now to introduce a distinguished individual who plays a pivotal role in ensuring effective communications and collaboration between the Department of Veterans Affairs and Congress. Assistant Secretary Patty Ross was nominated by President Biden and unanimously confirmed by the U.S. Senate to serve as the Assistant Secretary for Congressional and Public and Legislative Affairs. In her role, the Assistant Secretary Ross leads and manages the Office for Congressional and Legislative Affairs and serves as a principal advisor for the Secretary, the Deputy Secretary, the Undersecretaries, and the Assistant Secretaries at the Department of Veterans Affairs. She brings her extensive expertise and insights to bear on all matters involving congressional and legislative affairs and their impact on the Department of Veterans Affairs. With her guidance, the department maintains a responsive and effective communications with Congress. She helps to facilitate coordinating activities with members of Congress and committees of appropriate jurisdictions. Assistant Secretary Ross's invaluable contributions play a valuable role in ensuring that the Department of Veterans Affairs effectively meets the needs of our nation's veterans. Please join me in extending a warm welcome and expressing our sincere gratitude to Assistant Secretary Patty Ross for her dedication, her leadership, and her commitment in strengthening the VA and the Congress's relationship.
Kobe, I must say, you have a very different experience at the central office than I have. Nobody comes to the 5th floor to talk about Congress. I thought I'd start off with a joke. Good one about Congress. Chris, yeah, right behind me. Thank you for bringing this group together, for your transformative efforts and this momentous occasion. Bravo to the nation's finest team and event organizers. And quite frankly, there are a lot of good people in this room today. Veterans, service members, caregivers, survivors, advocates, organizers, local and national leaders, builders, friends, colleagues, and beyond. So I am just very deeply honored to share the room tonight with remarkable, resilient, and frankly, rock star awardees. But first, this doesn't work because I'm going to ask if you are able to stand, but by a show of hands, can I have all the veterans and service members just raise their hand? And on behalf of a grateful nation, thank you for your service. As Secretary McDonough has said, the words veteran and homeless do not belong in the same sentence. So I'm proud to be in a room committed to that ethos. Your partnership and devotion in connecting veterans to healthcare and employment infuses energy, momentum, and justifiable hope across the country, regardless of a raging pandemic. Thanks to you, the number of veterans experiencing homelessness has declined by more than 55% since former Secretary Shinseki's charge to us all. And thanks to your work, we are on track in 2023 to see another 38,000 veterans experiencing homelessness secure permanent housing. VA didn't do this alone. We accomplished this together. And we need to keep working together with champions like you to keep opening doors and wrapping our arms around all who served in uniform and behind the uniform to finish the job. This is why President Biden signing the PACT Act into law is so transformative for this collective effort. It is the most comprehensive law in decades to expand healthcare and benefits to millions of veterans, caregivers, and survivors. And for the first time, VA has the resources to provide robust coverage for servicemen and women who deployed into combat zones in the face of toxic exposure. And while not even close to being the same, I do serve as VA's chief liaison on that congressional journey of the PACT Act passage. And getting this law done was both a marathon and a sprint. Years in the making. Many in this room have served vets who have been exposed and still do to this day. But to stick with that metaphor, this is only the beginning of the race. Thanks to this new law and the leadership of President Biden and Secretary McDonough, VA has completed over 1.7 million claims this year, on track to beat the previous year, which was 30% more than 2022. And within that cohort, 550,000 are new claims just for toxic exposed benefits. We have seen a 20% increase in staffing at the Veterans Benefit Administration. We've seen 3.5 million veterans receive a toxic exposure health screening and enrolled 84,000 veterans into VA care and seen $1 billion in compensation of earned benefits to veterans, their families, and survivors go out the door. So PACT Act represents an opportunity for VA and the folks in this room to connect and reach populations that have the most to benefit from this new law: the untethered, the unhoused, women, the fastest growing demographic of veterans, communities of color, survivors, the post 9/11 era, and the LGBTQI+A. Your work on the front lines has the power to connect us with these very communities. We need to do better because even today, nearly half of veterans in this country don't have a connection to VA. To the men and women you serve, our message is this: give VA another try. Read up and sign up va.gov/PACT. We're not the VA of 10, 20, 30 years ago. Health outcomes show veterans do better when they're in our care. Full stop. And all the more reason to reach the untethered and the unhoused. I want to thank you again for the opportunity to be here tonight. I want to thank each of you for your service, for your partnership with VA, helping us implement PACT Act, and achieving our homelessness goals. We could not do it without you. Thank you again.
If I could ask the Secretary to stay standing with me, please. I'm going to read off the names and a brief description of some of the award recipients, and if you could come forward and get your trophy, and then we'll get some pictures taken. On behalf of Gina Harrow, could I have Bill Scott come up, please? We recognize Gina Harrow, the nation's finest 50 award recipient, for her extraordinary dedication as the Executive Director of Yellow Ribbon Fund. Drawing from her experience as a caregiver, she has expanded the organization's services nationwide, providing hope and support to families of injured veterans. We proudly honor Gina Harrow for her tireless dedication to our nation's heroes and their families tonight. Ginger Miller. Obviously an unknown in the room. We applaud Ginger Miller, the nation's finest 50 award recipient, for her exceptional dedication for supporting women veterans. As a service-disabled Navy veteran, she founded John 14.2 Inc. to aid homeless veterans and established Women's Veterans Interactive to empower and advocate for women veterans. Through her leadership, WVI has impacted over 5,000 women veterans with innovative programs. Ginger Miller's selfless service and commitment have earned her numerous awards, and she continues to inspire as a board member and committee member. We proudly honor Ginger Miller for her extraordinary dedication to our nation's women veterans tonight. This woman has probably the farthest distance to walk. Kathy Roth Duquet. We recognize Kathy, co-founder and CEO of Blue Star Families, for her unwavering commitment to improving the lives of military and veteran families. Through programs and partnerships, Blue Star Families supports families facing unique challenges, providing resources for career development, addressing food insecurity, building family strength, and fostering peer support. With a vast network of over 150,000 members worldwide, Blue Star Families touches the lives of 1.5 million military family members annually. Sorry, just to make sure. 1.5 million military family members annually. Tonight, we proudly present Kathy with the nation's finest 50 award for her exceptional dedication to supporting our military families. John Galena. Tonight, we honor John Galena, co-founder of Purple Heart Homes, with the nation's finest 50 award. As a combat wounded veteran, he has dedicated himself to improving the lives of disabled veterans through accessible housing solutions. His organization has provided critical repairs and modifications to over 500 veterans, granting independence and dignity. We salute John Galena for his unwavering commitment and exceptional service to our disabled veterans. John Horowitz. We commend John, President and CEO of Easter Seals DC, Maryland, and Virginia, for his transformative leadership in building an inclusive community for veterans. Through innovative partnerships and services, he has connected thousands of veterans to vital resources, including housing, health care, and employment. Under his guidance, programs like Homeless Veterans Reintegration Program and the Stephen A. Cohen Military Family Clinic have thrived. Tonight, we honor John Horowitz with the nation's finest 50 award for his remarkable dedication to empowering our veterans.
Next, please join me in welcoming Mr. Jerry Byrne, a dedicated advocate for veterans. Jerry has extensive experience in launching and managing global media enterprises. He currently sits on the boards of Penske Media Corporation. He's a Marine officer and Vietnam veteran. You note I didn't say former Marine. Jerry is also committed to giving back to the community. He's the CEO and co-founder of Warriors Rise. Warriors Rise is a veteran service organization that's focused on veterans employment. And additionally, in 2021, he was appointed as the chairman and founder of MediaFlix Veterans Channel, a streaming platform focused on veterans' health and wellness. Jerry also serves on the board of the Intrepid Museum, the Fisher House Foundation, the Bob Woodruff Foundation, the USO, Veterans Advantage, Friends of the Vietnam Veterans Plaza, the John A. Reisenbach Foundation, John Jay College, and the advisory board of Fordham's Gabelli School. If that's not enough, he also founded the Veterans Week in New York City and led the launch of Veterans on Campus in New York City, a consortium of all New York City's undergraduate and graduate schools where veterans are attending on the GI Bill. Jerry was also recently inducted in the Fordham University Military Hall of Fame. Please join me in expressing our sincere appreciation to Mr. Jerry Byrne for his exceptional leadership and unwavering support for our veteran community.
Thank you very much. I mean, my comments will be briefer than the introduction, I can assure you. And I was just thinking about what to say. It's interesting. I've been in the media business for a very long time, but I was putting the math together in terms of a timetable of my life. And 54 years ago, I came back from Vietnam after being on the ground for 13 months as a Marine officer. I came back and I had a job all set on Wall Street. I was an economics major. And the company I was about to go to work for merged with another company, and over a 40-day period got acquired. That company got acquired. And I only had one interview in addition to what I was going to do on Wall Street. And the interview was with the New York Daily News. Now, the New York Daily News, put it in perspective, today was the largest newspaper in the United States, had 3.5 million circulation on Sunday, was twice the size of any newspaper in the US, and it was a family-owned business. And the reason I even tell the story is that who interviewed me were 6 executives at the Daily News, 3 on the editorial side, 3 on the business side. But why was it important? It was important because each of the guys who interviewed me was a Korean War Army, Navy, or Marine Corps veteran, right? And, you know, they looked at me, which is kind of interesting, as in today's environment, anyone out here would look at a rescue dog. And you know, they recognized in the interview process that I was, I don't want to use a deleted expletive, but I wasn't in good shape. And what they did is they said to me that, listen, you come to work for us, we're going to take care of you like a rescue dog. And that's exactly what happened. And I learned the media business and fell in love with it. But it was 6 veterans who came to me, recognized me as a veteran. I needed help. I needed guidance. I needed to be in an environment in 1969 where if you were a Viet vet in 1969, let me tell you, there was no ticker tapes parades coming in any direction. So these guys kind of like saved me, taught me the media business. And it's one of the reasons that, you know, I get involved in too many things. But I'm very, very, you know, proud of that and proud to be a veteran and involved with anything that veterans do and anything that I can personally do to help, whether it's homeless or education or families, healthcare. I think it's important for all of us as veterans and veteran supporters to do it. I mean, I'm just so proud to be involved with this and to see so many, you know, wonderful faces and Mr. Rich Jones and Kathy. I mean, these are folks that I look up to and I'm very just proud to call friends. So thank you. And now I'm going to pass the buck back to, thank you.
If you'd stay on the stage, Jerry. Thank you, Jerry. I'm now going to call out some names, and if you'll come forward, Jerry and Kobe can give you your award. Art de la Cruz. We celebrate Art de la Cruz, a former Navy officer and the nation's 50th anniversary recipient, 50th award recipient, sorry. As CEO of Team Rubicon, this veteran-led powerhouse operates globally, merging military expertise with high-tech solutions. They enlist first responders and medical professionals to aid communities in crisis, notably those less privileged. Under De La Cruz's inspiring leadership, our veterans find a new purpose, easing their civilian transition while profoundly impacting disaster relief. Barbara Van Dalen. We honor Dr. Barbara Van Dalen, a dedicated champion of veteran mental health and recipient of the prestigious Nation's Finest 50 Award. Founder of Given Hour and key driver behind the President's Roadmap, Dr. Van Dalen's selfless efforts have enabled no-cost counseling and bespoke mental health care for our military personnel affected by service, mass violence, and opioid addiction. Tirelessly working to bridge the gap in mental health services, she has presented innovative strategies to prioritize emotional well-being and uplifting military families. Barbara Van Dalen. Bonnie Carroll. She's not here? I'm going to tell her story anyway. We honor Bonnie Carroll, founder of TAPS, Tragedy Assistance Program for Survivors. TAPS provides crucial support to families grieving the loss of a service member. Bonnie's impact work earned her the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Tonight, we present Bonnie Carroll with the Nation's Finest 50 Award for her tireless dedication to supporting our military families. Accepting the award for General Colin Powell, Leslie Lautenschlager is attending. Is she here?
Sorry, and
Peggy Soprino. Oh, worked with Commander Powell for many years. We honor the memory of General Colin Powell, a steadfast champion for veterans. His leadership touched countless lives. General Powell's dedication led to the creation of significant tributes, the National Veterans Memorial and Museum, and the Buffalo Soldier Monument. Until his last days, he advocated for our veterans, delivering heartfelt speeches at the National Memorial Day concert. Today, we posthumously present General Colin Powell with the Nation's Finest 50 Award, recognizing his enduring commitment to our veterans and their families. If Major Jeremy Haynes could come forward, he's going to accept the award on behalf of Gary Sinise. Major Haynes himself is a Gary Sinise Foundation ambassador. We commend Gary Sinise, the Nation's Finest 50 Award recipient, for his unwavering advocacy for America's service members. His dedication is commendable, from supporting veterans groups to establishing the Gary Sinise Foundation. His foundation's innovative approach serves defenders, veterans, first responder, Gold Star families, and those in need. Tonight, we salute Gary Sinise for his ongoing commitment and service. Back to Kobe.
Doing okay? Okay. Next, please join me in welcoming Mr. Matthew Friedman. He's a distinguished national security and defense expert with over 43 years of experience advising 15 federal government agencies, including the Departments of State, Defense, and the Navy. Mr. Friedman has played a crucial role in shaping national security strategies for decades. His leadership during U.S. presidential transitions and his current role as a special advisor to the U.S. Pacific Fleet Command demonstrate his ongoing commitment to our nation's security. Having served as senior advisors for the Department of the Army, Air Force, and Special Forces Command, please join me in expressing our appreciation to Mr. Matthew Friedman's invaluable national security and defense contributions. Thank you.
Thanks very much for that very generous introduction. This is a town of power, but what taught me about volunteerism was really Colin Powell, who I worked with, Peggy, remember? And John McCain. And they and the recipients have really, and many of you in this room, really are the best of America, because it's all about not them, but it's beyond self. And that's a really important thing. So when Chris asked if I would help out here, I jumped at the opportunity just to play a small role in highlighting what an ordinary person can do with extraordinary outcomes for our veterans and other institutions and other people. So I want to thank Chris and the organization for what they've done, what they're doing, and what they're going to be doing in the future to really highlight and take care of our most vulnerable population and our veterans. So thank you for the opportunity to participate, and it's a wonderful institution, so thank you again.
Now we'll ask Mr. Friedman if he wouldn't mind presenting a few trophies. Karen Gunther. We honor Karen Gunther, founder, president, and CEO of Simplify and America's Fund. Is she in the room? Oh. Her nonprofit has provided over $267 million in grants to support, to support service members, veterans, and military families. Recognized for her dedication, Karen received the American Spirit Award, and her organization has top ratings. We present Karen Gunther with the nation's finest 50 award for her outstanding contributions to our veteran community tonight. Here's someone I know is in the building, Catherine Monet. There she comes. We honor Catherine Monet, the CEO of the National Coalition for Homeless Veterans, for her tireless dedication to ending homelessness among veterans. With over 2 decades of nonprofit experience, Catherine's leadership has driven successful initiatives like the VASH program, providing vital rental assistance. Her advocacy for veteran-supported policies has earned recognition from esteemed organizations. Tonight, we present Catherine Monet with the nation's finest 50 award, celebrating her unwavering commitment to serving those who served our country. Thank you. Jody Grenier. We commend Jody Grenier, CEO of Foundation for Women Warriors, for empowering women veterans and their families. As a Marine Corps veteran herself, Grenier has dedicated her career to providing vital resources and support. Under her leadership, the foundation has assisted thousands of women veterans in education, employment, housing, healthcare, and financial stability. Grenier's advocacy and efforts break down barriers, ensuring recognition and support for women veterans. Tonight, we honor Jody Grenier with the nation's finest 50 award for her exceptional dedication to the success of women veterans. Mike Haney. Dr. Michael Haney, former Air Force officer and Syracuse University Vice Chancellor, supports military-connected individuals' transition to civilian life. Through the Entrepreneur Boot Camp and the Dianello Institute, he provides career training and entrepreneurship programs for veterans and their families. We present Dr. Haney with the nation's finest 50 award for his exceptional dedication tonight. One more. Accepting on behalf of Chris Boskin, can I have Kate Doby come forward? Is she in the house? Yay! We celebrate Chris Boskin, co-founder of Higher Ground and recipient of the nation's finest 50 award. Her dedication to using recreational therapy and nature's healing power has uplifted veterans and children with disability. Through unique programs, Chris has positively impacted over 2,200 veterans, raising over $20 million for their services. We honor Chris Boskin for her transformative impact on our veterans' lives tonight. You're back up, Mr. Kobe. Want me to hold that? Okay.
Well, this is a special one. So in 2008, there was an idea that we had to bring increased attention to our military family community. And the idea was a pretty simple one. Create an advocate on behalf of our nation's military families and put them in the highest position of power in the United States of America. From that idea was born a couple of different initiatives. One was joining forces, then advocated for by the First Lady and every First Lady since that point in time. But what not many people know is that idea started with one person. Please join me in welcoming Kathy Roth Duquet, a dedicated family advocate, author, and attorney. As the co-founder and CEO of Blue Star Families, she's positively impacted the lives of millions in the military community. Kathy's work extends beyond her role in Blue Star Families. She's an influential author, commentator, and public speaker. Her insights have been featured in major media outlets, and she continues to champion patriotism and civil military affairs. Kathy's exceptional services earned her prestigious awards, including the Points of Light Foundation recognition, and most recently, the prestigious Ellis Island Medal of Honor. Please join me in expressing our gratitude to Kathy Roth Duquet for her unwavering dedication to military families and her invaluable contributions to this community.
Well, what a wonderful room to be in. I have to stand over here or you won't be able to see me. But what a wonderful band of brothers and sisters to be with. And how generous and farsighted for Nation's Finest, for Chris and Kobe to have brought us all together and to understand that while we love what we do it better when we're in the company of each other. Amen. Thank you for that. And not only is Nation's Finest a ancestral organization in this field, going back 50 years and doing work that has been going on for much longer than many of our organizations or many of us individually have, but also continues to innovate and continues to grow, not only in the work that they do, but also I think in realizing that more of us need to know about that work, and that Nation's Finest, under the leadership of Chris and Kobe, can be leaders to all of us in moving into this next era and moving there together. So I would just love us all, and I think we'll do this at the end, but to just give a round of applause to each other. What extraordinary people there are in this room. I'm also grateful to be included in this. When we started this work, 2008, one of the things I like to say is that nobody's born a veteran. And nobody's born alone. Every veteran starts out active duty. And everyone who starts out active duty comes from a family or is part of a family, whether that's their parents, a spouse, children, brothers, sisters. And if we want to treat that person, we want to get upstream of all the problems, we want to be talking about them at the earliest point possible, and we want to be talking about them in the community of their family and the community outside them too. So thank you for including me in this amazing group. There's been a lot of talk about selfless service, and it wasn't, and that is not something that ever resonates for me, because there's nothing selfless about what I do. I feel so lucky to do what I do every day. I love my work, And there's nothing selfless about it. It's a joy. And that doesn't take anything away from it. So I hope it's a joy for each of you. I hope receiving this award is a joy for you, and you can accept it and not just deflect it and not just say, well, there's really so many other people and it's really the mission, but it's also you, and enjoy it and feel the love, because I feel it for you. And I know that you all feel it for each other.
I can trade you. If I could have Renee Campos come forward, please. Renee Campos, a retired Navy lieutenant commander, has dedicated her second career to serving the military and veteran community. As an expert in the field, she advises DoD and VA leadership and has testified before Congress. Renee's leadership and advocacy has led to the development of impactful events like Warrior Family Symposium and the passage of the VA Mission Act. Her unwavering commitment to improving resources and programs for caregivers of veterans makes her deserving of the nation's Finest 50 Award. Now, none of those battles between service branches. Rich Jones. Yay. Staff Sergeant Rich Jones, a former non-commissioned officer in the U.S. Army, has dedicated his career to advocating for veterans and their families. As the Executive Vice President, General Tax Counsel, and Chief Veteran Officer for Paramount Global, he founded the Paramount Veterans Network to support veteran-related initiatives and programming. Jones's unwavering commitment to the veteran community is evident through his involvement with organizations like the Wounded Warrior Project and the Institute for Veterans and Military Families. His selfless advocacy and dedication to giving a voice to those who served make him deserving of the nation's Finest 50 Award. Uh-oh, something's getting started, I can tell. Richard Casper. We are honored to recognize Corporal Richard Casper as one of nation's Finest 50 awardees. As the co-founder of Creative Vets, he has dedicated himself to supporting veterans' well-being through the transformative power of the creative arts. Casper's unwavering commitment to helping veterans with post-traumatic stress and traumatic brain injury find healing and purpose is truly remarkable. Through collaborations with renowned musicians and artists, he has created impactful works of art that shine a light on the challenges and resilience of our veterans. With great pride, we present Corporal Richard Casper with the nation's Finest 50 Award for his outstanding contributions to the veteran community. Is Robin Kelleher with us today?
No, she's not.
Okay, I'm going to read her award anyway. We honor Robin Kelleher, President and CEO of Hope for the Warriors, for her exceptional leadership in supporting wounded and fallen military communities. She has significantly impacted through her strategic guidance and fundraising efforts, raising over $70 million. Robin's deep understanding of the needs of service members and their families has made her a powerful advocate for the veteran community. Tonight, we proudly represent the presentation to Robin Kelleher with the nation's Finest 50 Award, recognizing her outstanding commitment to our nation's heroes. Stacy Lee. Yeah. We honor Stacy Lee, co-president of Echo Group, for her tireless dedication to supporting veterans. She has helped over 7,000 veterans across resources and support through peer-to-peer mentoring and virtual assistance. Her commitment to building community and providing vital assistance is commendable. we proudly present Stacy Lee with the nation's finest 50 award for her outstanding contributions to the veteran community tonight. Sue Hoppen. I know Sue's here. There she is. We honor Sue Hoppen, a steadfast advocate for military spouses whose work has empowered and supported them for over a decade. As the founder of the National Military Spouse Network and author of A Family's Guide to the Military, she has provided invaluable resources and guidance. Sue's dedication to the military spouse community has been recognized with prestigious awards, reflecting her unwavering commitment. Tonight, we proudly present Sue Hoppen with the nation's finest 50 award, celebrating her remarkable contributions to the well-being of military spouses. Before we continue, ladies and gentlemen, I want to take a moment to express our heartfelt appreciation to Kobe Langley. This esteemed chair of the nation's finest 50 Blue panel and the exceptional members of the panel who have announced the names tonight has been outstanding and very, very, very welcoming. Your commitment and dedication have helped shape this extraordinary celebration of our veterans and their supporters. We are honored to have your presence and involvement in this special moment. Thank you for your unwavering support, wisdom, and tireless efforts. Your contributions have made a lasting impact on the lives of our veterans, and we're truly grateful for your dedication. So thanks again to the folks that are sitting behind me and standing behind me for all of the efforts they put forward. It was not easy to look at 200 amazing plus people and try to select 50. Just to let you also know several things. One is, all of those of the 50 that aren't here tonight will be getting their awards, and we're going to hopefully have some virtual conversations with them. We also are going to take the opportunity between tonight and Veterans Day to celebrate the winners or the recipients some more, meaning we're going to use social media to again congratulate them and speak of what it is they do so that recognition can follow. I know that's not what you're here for. You're not here for recognition, but I imagine your organizations could use a little bit, and we want to make sure that happens for you. I'm honored to bring your attention to a remarkable individual. God, it took me that long to trip over myself there. Whose contributions to our nation and its defenders have been extraordinary. Major General James A. Spider Marks, a distinguished veteran and leader, has indelibly impacted our country's security and the lives of countless service members. General Marks held various command positions throughout his illustrious career, showcasing his exceptional leadership and strategic acumen. From infantry platoon leader to commanding general, he exemplified unwavering dedication to our nation's defense. Beyond his military voice, General Marks' expertise extends to corporate leader development, education, and training as the president of the Marks Collaborative. His entrepreneurial endeavors have furthered the advancement of leaders across various industries. We are fortunate to have the opportunity to hear some special remarks from Blue Ribbon panel member, Major General James A. Spider Marks, a highly respected figure in national security and a distinguished member of the Military Intelligence Hall of Fame.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Major General Retired Spider Marks. Look, I spent well over 30 years in uniform, and I had the great honor to serve with some amazing young men and women who agreed to sacrifice, who signed up to serve this great nation of ours and sacrificed greatly. And many of those who benefited from those sacrifices will never fully appreciate or understand what went into that definition of service. Well, today we get to honor and celebrate those great patriots who have given their time, their resources, and their full emotion to support veterans and their families
with the nation's Finest 50 Award. And I want to personally thank all of you for all that you do to embrace those that have given so much and those that have selflessly embraced those that have gone forward in defense of our freedoms and our liberties to support this great nation of ours. Please enjoy yourself this evening. And again, thank you so much for all that you do.
We want to give out one other additional thank you. It's a face you've seen up here receiving an award, but I'd like to invite Catherine Monet back up to the stage, if she would. Most of you are aware there's a small event going on today, tomorrow, and the next day in this building. And through our partnership with Catherine, we've been able to celebrate you tonight as part of the beginning of the NCHV conference. So I wanted to say not only your commitment to ending homelessness among veterans and your tireless effort to create supportive programs and policies have significantly impacted countless individual lives, your openness to partnerships such as what we're experiencing tonight has been amazing. I consider you a good friend now, and hopefully we'll continue to move forward helping each other do things. So I'd like to see if she wouldn't mind saying a few words, maybe a little bit about what's coming up in the conference too. No.
Well, as the CEO of the National Coalition for Homeless Veterans, it's a true honor to be here with you all tonight celebrating the 50th anniversary of the nation's finest organization on our first night of our conference. You all know that Nation's Finest has long been a part of NCHV, and you all were a big part of our founding as an organization. And so we're grateful to your predecessors and to you and your team and everyone who's here for working with us to end veteran homelessness. The stories that we heard tonight about all of the honorees were really inspirational to me. And, I thought a lot about the fact that each of us is really helming our own little movement, right? But we're really, in the words of the great philosopher Neo, we are very much movements by ourselves, but we're a force when we're together. And so I think the togetherness factor here is what is really resonating with me. And so I hope that as we move forward into many more years of work ending veteran homelessness nationally and in all of the communities where Chris and every one of you is operating, right? We can continue to be a force together. Thank you so much for being here, and we look forward to partnering with all of you. Thank you, Chris.
As we bring this memorable evening to a close, I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you for joining us in celebrating the nation's finest awards. Please recognize our 50 anniversaries only come every 50 years. So this award, hold on to it tight because it's another 50 years before we do this again. Tonight, we have witnessed the power of collective action and the incredible impact that can be achieved when we come together to support our veterans. I am truly humbled by the inspiring stories and remarkable achievements of our nation's finest 50 award recipients and the hundreds of nominees, including founders and leaders of nonprofit organizations, actors, musicians, comedians, philanthropists, military leaders, researchers, and more, several of which are in attendance this evening. They embody the spirit of service, resilience, and dedication that define our veterans. Their tireless efforts to uplift and empower our heroes have touched countless lives and have set an example for all of us to follow. I would like to express my deepest appreciation to our esteemed presenters who have graciously joined us tonight. General Mark Milley was supposed to be here and had to apologize for not being able to make it, but I want to thank him for at least stepping up and supporting what we're doing in this event. Kobe Langley, Assistant Secretary Patty Ross, Jerry Byrne, Matthew Freeman, and our special guest, Catherine Monet. Your presence and participation have made this evening even more meaningful, and we are grateful for your continued support. I'd also like to thank our generous sponsors, Enterprise and National Coalition for Homeless Veterans, for their dedication to our cause. Your support has been instrumental in making this evening a resounding success, and we are truly grateful and appreciative of the partnership. Finally, I invite all of you to join us for the reception and keep on drinking and keep on enjoying yourself. This is an opportunity to connect with one another, celebrate the achievements of our nation's finest 50 award recipients, and continue the conversation about how we can further support our veterans. In closing, let us carry the spirit of this evening with us as we go forth. May we be inspired by the stories we've heard, the connections we've made, and the collective commitment we share to honor and support our nation's finest. Thank you again for being part of this special occasion, and the Battle of the Branches can now begin now that this is over with. Thank you very much.